Hello, third year students. In the previous session, we have completed the narrative of the part first of the poem Christabel. In today's class, we will begin with the conclusion of the part first that is added to this poem. So let us start. It was a lovely sight to see the Lady Christabel when she was praying at the old oak tree amid the jagged shadows of mossy leafless boughs, kneeling in the moonlight to make her gentle vows. The speaker of the poem is giving us the beautiful sight of Lady Christabel just before Geraldine comes on the scene, and he says, "It was a lovely sight to see." It was a lovely scene to see the Lady Christabel when she was praying at the old oak tree, when she was sitting or when she was praying under the old oak tree amid the jagged shadows of mossy leafless boughs. She was kneeling in the moonlight, and there was a pattern of jagged shadows caused by that moonlight, of mossy leafless bough, and the tree under which she was kneeling was all covered with moss without any leaves on its branches. It was leafless, to make her gentle vows. And she is kneeling under the tree to make gentle vows in loving memory of her beloved knight. Her slender palms together pressed, heaving sometimes on her breast. And she was holding her beautiful palms, her slender palms. Slender means thin and slim in a graceful way. She was holding her beautiful palms together that were heaving on her breast because of the heavy breathing. Her face resigned to bliss or bale, her face, or call it fair, not pale. Her face was fair, not pale. It was beautiful, and it was resigned to bliss or bale. And there was a mixed emotion of happiness and sadness over her face. Bliss means happiness, and bale refers to sadness. And both blue eyes, more bright than clear, each about to have a tear. Her blue eyes were bright and it was more bright than clear, and both the eyes were about to shed a tear. So Christabel is being sentimental in the loving memory of her beloved knight who is gone somewhere, and she is worried for her safety. And she is a lovely innocent figure in that dark forest, and Coleridge is painting a beautiful picture of Christabel praying in that dark forest. With open eyes, ah, woe is me, asleep and dreaming fearfully, fearfully dreaming, yet I was dreaming that alone, which is, oh, sorrow and shame. Now the speaker comes to the present scene from the Christabel praying under the oak tree. Now speaker comes to the present scene where Christabel is asleep in the arms of Geraldine with open eyes. Her eyes are open, yet she is asleep. The focus is on Christabel's unnatural and trance-like state because of the evil spell of Geraldine, dreaming fearfully. Christabel seems to have a fearful vision in her dream, which the speaker believes, yet I wis means the speaker believes a dream of sorrow and shame. And one more thing, these 4 lines also could mean that it is the speaker who believes himself to be in a terrible dream, not the Christabel, and that he is watching with his eyes open, a dream of sadness and shame. But what type of this dream is not clear here, but the speaker finds it hard to accept that this can happen to such a lovely young innocent lady like Christabel, so he calls it a dream. Can this be she, the lady who knelt at the old oak tree? The speaker puts up a question, looking at Christabel and asks, is this the same lady who knelt under the old oak tree? He is noticing a clear transformation in Christabel's appearance. She sees to him an entirely different person from one that knelt under that old oak tree. Next he says, and lo, the worker of these harms that holds the maiden in her arms seems to slumber still and mild as a mother with her child. And lo, and look, the worker of these harms done to Christabel by Geraldine. She is the worker of these harms. He is pointing at Geraldine. She is the worker of these harms, this suffering that holds the maiden in her arms seems to slumber still and mild as a mother with her child. Geraldine, who is holding Christabel in her arms, is sleeping peacefully. Seems to slumber. Slumber means she is sleeping peacefully as a mother with her child, just like a mother sleeps with her child. A star hath set, a star hath risen. O Geraldine, since arms of thine have been the lovely lady's prison. Geraldine held Christabel in her spell for the entire night, for the midnight, you can say. And a star hath set, a star hath risen. The night star has set and the morning star has risen. This suggests the passing of the midnight. Since arms of thine have been the lovely lady's prison. Geraldine's arms has been like a prison of spell in which she kept the innocent, lovely Lady Christabel. O Geraldine, 1 hour was thine, thou'st had thy will. The speaker says to Geraldine that 1 hour of midnight was yours. Thou'st had thy will. You had your will. By Terran and Rill, the night birds, all that hours were still. In that witching hour of yours, the Terran means a mountain pool, and Rill means a small stream. So the Terran and Rill and the night birds, all that hours were still. So all these things at that hour were still. There was no motion, there was no activity in that evil hour. But now they are jubilant anew, from cliff and tower, to woo, to woo, to woo, to woo, from wood and fell. But now they are jubilant anew. Jubilant anew means they are joyful again, because that hour is spent and your spell is broken. From cliff and tower to woo, to woo. Now the sound of the owl is audible from cliff to tower, from wood to hills. And see, the Lady Christabel gathers herself from out her trance. Her limbs relax, her countenance grows sad and soft. The smooth thin lids close over her eyes, and tears she sheds. Now look at Christabel, who gathers herself from out her trance, who is recovering from the trance of the evil spell. Her limbs relax, her countenance means her face. Her lower body is relaxed, her face is sad and soft, and grows sad and soft. The smooth thin lids close over her eyes, and tears she sheds. She is trying to sleep by closing her eyes, and she is crying. She is crying large tears that leave the lashes bright, and oft the while she seems to smile as infants at a sudden light. She is smiling just like a child smiles at the sudden flash of a light. So it seems that Christabel has mixed feelings about what she and Geraldine did, because she cries, but then she smiles too. Yeah, She doth smile, and she doth weep like a youthful hermitess, beauteous in a wilderness, who praying always prays in sleep. Next the speaker says, yeah, yes, she does smile and she does weep like a youthful hermitess. Hermitess, a monk. So Christabel smiles and weeps like a youthful hermitess, like a lady monk who is beauteous in a wilderness, who is beautiful in wild, in solitude, like a monk who praying always prays in sleep, like a monk who always prays, and if she move unquietly perchance, 'tis but the blood so free comes back and tingles in her feet. And if by chance she becomes unquietly, she becomes unstable. Unquietly means unstable or restless in nature, acting out of passion, but she will be back soon to her true nature. No doubt she hath a vision sweet. What if her guardian spirit were? What if she knew her mother near? No doubt, the speaker says, definitely she was having a sweet vision in her sleep. What if her guardian spirit were? What if she knew her mother near? And what if it is the vision of her guardian spirit, the spirit of her mother? Maybe she is smiling because she had a vision of her mother. But this she knows in joys and woes that saints will aid if man will call, for the blue sky bends over all. And these last few lines of this stanza puts forth an optimistic approach towards life. And the lines can be an address for both to the reader and to Christabel. He says, but this she knows, in joys and woes, the saints will aid if man will call, for the blue sky bends over all. He says Christabel definitely knows that the saints, that the angels will always help man if they seek for help in their troubles, for the blue sky bends over all. The blue sky here refers to God. So the God will always protect us, will always help us whenever we will call out for help. So Coleridge ends this first part of the poem, part first of this long poem, by affirming his faith in God and his generosity. All right, we have finished this poem. In the next class, we shall begin with another poem by Coleridge, that is Kubla Khan. Thank you.